You're good.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stay to the Credits podcast. My name is JP Quintana.
Hi, I'm Sebastian.
Hello, guys. We're going to be talking about another indie film, I guess you could call it. It's Don't Breathe, if you haven't heard of it. Came out, when did it come out? A couple years ago.
2016.
There you go, 2016. And a couple of days ago, in Friday. So we were recording this on Sunday. It came out on Friday. The Don't Breathe 2, the sequel, and we decided that we should talk about the first one because I had never seen it. And let me just say, it was a really interesting film. I had no idea what it was about. I just know it was about some blind man. But just to give a little facts about this movie is as an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. The director Fede Alvarez, I'm not sure. I honestly don't remember. I've never heard of his name. I'm sorry. I know that Sam Raimi, the director of the Spider-Man trilogy, also was a producer on this film, and uh, Dylan Minnette, who plays one of the three main characters in the movie, is part of my favorite band, which is the Wallows.
So I'm just gonna talk about the director a little bit. So Fede Alvarez, he directed the Evil Dead remake, which was produced by Sam Raimi. So they just went on to work on Don't Breathe after the Evil Dead remake. So yeah, just tying that a little bit together. He's also currently working on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot. I think he's the producer. I don't think he's like the director. And he was a producer and writer for the second Don't Breathe. And he also directed Chaos Walking, which is that movie with Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley that I never saw.
I don't think it did too well in box office. Apart from like COVID, I don't think anyone was really interested in the movie.
Yeah. So yeah, if you've seen the Evil Dead remake, this movie is nothing like it. It's completely different. The director Fede Alvarez has said that instead of being bloody, he wanted to focus more on like suspense, and instead of like supernatural elements, he just wanted like a realistic feel. And I think that works for this movie. I think it's really tense and unnerving at some points. But yeah, what did you think?
I thought it was really, really interesting, but also very unsettling. I mean, just because the movie is unsettling doesn't mean it was a bad movie. Definitely was not. I think it was a really great movie. It's not an amazing movie that I was like a 10 out of 10, but it kept me really interesting. It kept me on the edge of my seat. Sebastian and I actually saw this movie yesterday. Well, he had already seen it,
Yeah, I had
but
seen it around high school when it came out on Netflix. I think
yeah,
I saw
but
it with
I
some
had never
friends.
seen it. So he invited me over to watch it so we could watch it together. And
We
I
had,
gotta
we had a
say,
we had a good time. We saw this movie. We saw a crappy movie. We had some
yeah.
Popeyes chicken sandwiches. It was good. It was good.
Hell yeah, I recommend Popeye's chicken sandwiches. Popeyes, please sponsor us.
Popeyes,
But
give me
yeah,
money.
give me chicken. But yes, Sebastian and I saw this yesterday, and I mean, I don't know what you thought, but I don't know if you enjoyed my reactions to this movie because in
Yeah, it
some
was
parts,
it was fun. Like obviously we throw in commentary here and there, but there was times where we both like kind of like jumped or we were like, oh, like crap, like it's
yeah,
fun. Like I had seen this movie before, but some moments still got me. Because I think some of the like cinematography, some of the shots are really good. Like there's a part in the beginning where one of the crooks like breaks into the house and he's in the guy's room, the blind guy's room, and like it cuts to him like sleeping, like the blind guy, and then the crook is doing something, and then it cuts back, and then the blind guy's like up in his bed, and it's just like fun, like creepy moments followed by like really loud, like tense moments. So yeah, it's a good movie to experience with friends, um, or like with a partner. Like you
yeah. I
want,
mean, the movies is always more fun to watch it with someone else, especially this kind of movie. Like a horror thriller.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. So I
Uh,
mean, I guess what do we talk about now? The plot a little bit.
yeah, we got to talk about the plot a little bit for the people that didn't see it, or I'm not gonna see it, but want to know about the story.
All right. So the main point of the movie is that three like I guess delinquents, like they rob a lot of houses. They live in Detroit. Everyone wants to get out of Detroit because, as we all know, you can't have shit in Detroit. So we follow Rocky, played by Jane Levy. We have Alex, played by Dylan Minnette, and then we have Money, played by what's his name, Daniel Solato, right? So we have these three delinquents. They're planning on robbing from this blind guy because they find out that this blind guy, he got like his daughter was died in a car accident, or like she got run over, and he got a $300,000 cash settlement from the girl's family, the one that ran over her daughter. Right, so he's loaded. He's blind. He lives secluded. Like he rarely goes out. So they plan on stealing his money. And right off the bat, we know that these characters, they're not good characters. Like, they're all trying to rob this guy, this blind guy. Um, but they do have good reasons. Like Rocky, Jane Levy, she wants to steal for her little sister. She wants to make sure her little sister gets out of Detroit because they have like abusive parents or whatever. Alex is just simping big time for Rocky. Like even though Rocky's dating Money, Alex just wants to go with them.
Could you say
So
that he's down bad?
he's pretty down bad. There's points in the movie where he could have lived, but he chooses to go back for Rocky. Um, he could have gotten out like safely, but he chooses to go back for Rocky and ends up getting in more danger than he anticipated. So yeah, right off the bat, you kind of have this vibe that you kind of feel bad for the blind guy because it's a blind guy, right? Um, like why would you steal from a blind guy? Um, you know, but later on throughout the movie, as the movie goes on, you're not really rooting for anybody in particular because the blind guy also has some baggage, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, I just wanted to ask you, what did you think about the setup? Did you think it was done well? Did you like it?
Yeah, definitely. I already thought that the setup for this movie was really done well, like you said, but I mean, it's something that it has. I don't think it has been done before. The way that you say that you end up rooting for no one. I know we haven't talked like that deep into the story yet, but in this movie, you really, I mean, at first, yes, you are rooting for the blind guy. For the people that have seen it, you can kind of see that. I mean, there really isn't a protagonist in the film. I mean, there's always like a protagonist and antagonist, but in this movie, really, it's like no one is good, and like you don't know what's gonna happen next. And I think that's really interesting that the movie did.
Yeah, like at the beginning, obviously you're rooting for Rocky, um, but then you find out they're robbing this blind guy. You're like, oh well, maybe the blind guy isn't so bad. But then you find out the secrets of the bad guy, and you flip again, like, oh crap, I want Rocky to live, or maybe Alex, because Alex really doesn't. He's like the voice of reason for the whole group. Um, he might be the one that you're rooting for. You're rooting for Rocky because of your little sister, but if
I was rooting for Dylan Minnette because he's the Wallow.
yeah, he's the wallow. But like if Rocky didn't have that development with her sister, I don't think like we would have
Yeah,
rooted for her.
it's important to the story that you know her backstory,
Yeah,
because everyone, I mean, like you said, she's doing it for a reason. She's stealing money for a reason, and it's like the whole it's like it's a psychological debate or a philosophical debate.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
or like stealing for your family and whatever. But at this point, like you're just stealing because you like to steal. I mean, you're stealing $300,000 from a blind guy. You really don't need to do that. I mean, I get it; it's for your sister, but you don't need to do it that far.
Yeah, and Money, Daniel Solato's character, at one point he's like, just because he's blind doesn't mean he's a saint. But like, I mean, that's true. You can be a blind guy and be an asshole, but that's a blind guy. You know, like you don't know the guy yet, right? Like you don't know what he's done.
Exactly.
So that line kind of comes out of nowhere. Um, so yeah, they go into the house. They Dylan Minette's character, his dad works for like a security company, so he has extra keys to all the houses, um, which is a good way of setting up like how they break it, how they do it so easily. I which I like that. I like that it's actually explained that like, oh, his dad works there. That's why he has access to everything. Um, and it's not explained like too much. Like it's just like one short scene and that's it. And I like that because the pacing is like really fast. Like the movie goes on for a while. Like you think it ends at some point, but then it just keeps going. I know that you said that you were like it kind of like felt like it went on longer than it should have, or that it you thought it would end at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the pacing was great, like you said.
Mhm.
So at some points, like I thought, oh, the movie's over, but no, it just kept on going and
Yeah,
going, more development, and I was like, holy crap, I don't know where the hell this is going.
yeah, and I thought that was really cool. I like the pacing is really cool. Like there's just long scenes of like build. It's like long scenes of build up, and then you figure out what's going on. Excuse me, I almost burped. And then there's like stuff happens, and then boom, like more build up, and then stuff happens, and then at the end it's just like stuff after stuff after stuff after stuff after stuff. But yeah, it's pretty good. We haven't talked about the blind guy that much. The blind man. He's played by
Doesn't have a
Steve.
name.
Well, he does have a name. He does have a name. His name is Norman Nordstrom. But
Okay.
but in the movie, I mean, he's not really referred to by name. Everyone just called him the blind man, which that was supposed to be one of the that was one of the working titles for this movie, the blind man. Another one was the man in the dark. Um, I don't know. I like Don't Breathe. I think it's like it really catches your attention. Like you're like, oh, is this movie about like holding your breath, like whatever? Like it adds more intrigue to the title, which I like.
Yeah, it definitely was intriguing. I mean, I remember when this movie came out, it was talked about a lot. I remember people were saying like, "Oh, that's a really good movie," but I just never really got around to it. But yeah, I was always intrigued to watch it, and
Yeah,
finally I got the chance to.
it's good. Stephen Lang plays the blind guy. I know him from Avatar. He was the bad guy in Avatar. Um, he was also in he's been in a bunch of movies. But yeah, he's really good. I like him a lot. Um,
He
I
did a
think he'd
really
be
good job playing a blind guy.
he'd be really good as like a villain in the MCU or the DCEU. Like I can see this guy as like Deathstroke. I think like I would love to see that.
Yeah, he's a little too old, bro, isn't he?
Nah, but Deathstroke is old too. Deathstroke has like white hair and everything.
Yeah, he's white hair, but I mean, a person in their 40s could have white hair.
Yeah, but I mean, this guy's ripped. Like, did you not see him in this movie?
I mean, I guess, but look, okay, did you look up his age?
No, I didn't look at this.
Look, let me look up his age real quick. Stephen Lang is 69 years old. That is definitely way too old to be acting
Nah,
as a DC villain or a Superman. I
nah,
mean,
man.
superhero villain.
Nah, man, that's perfect. Like, look, he's still coming out in Avatar 2, 3, 4. He's in Don't Breathe 2, right? So he has enough in him, I think, to play like an action role like that.
Maybe. I just think it will be too much work. But I mean, I never know. I'm open to be impressed by him. I have an open mind. But yes, he does play a really cool part in like as an antagonist, I guess you could say. But everyone in this movie is an antagonist.
Yeah,
So
so he's supposed to be an army veteran. And he kicks the crap out of the intruders. Like once shit starts going down, like he's like this force of nature that does not relent. Like he like chokes people, he beats the crap out of them, and like you believe it. Like you believe that he can kick your ass.
yeah, definitely.
Like
And I mean, I remember when he started beating up the intruders, uh, I made it like a little joke saying that that is Daredevil in the future.
Yeah.
And if you don't know Daredevil, Daredevil is a Marvel. He's not a superhero, but he's a hero.
Well,
Uh,
he is.
he has enhanced abilities because he's also a blind man who's a lawyer. But of course, when he's not being a lawyer, he's out there kicking people's ass in a really cool devil-like suit.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen the Daredevil show on Netflix, I really recommend it, even though it's been a while since it came out. But I really recommend it. It's a really good show. Even just the first season, I thought it was great. So
The
yeah,
first season is perfect. It's great.
yeah, it's probably one of the best superhero shows I've probably ever seen. I mean, I've seen a lot by now, but yes, if you haven't seen Daredevil, I really recommend. But yes, that's why the man reminded me of Daredevil, of course, because he's a blind man.
Yeah, and he's not blind in real life, you can see, but they made him wear contacts that impaired his vision a lot. So I just thought that was a nice touch to like authenticity. I know the director saw he saw this YouTuber that's blind. I don't remember his name, but he saw his channel to like inspire the movements that like Stephen Lang would kind of like make and mimic. And it's so cool because even like Stephen Lang for like playing a blind guy, like you believe that this blind guy will like absolutely kill you. Like you believe that he has superpowers like Daredevil. And
I
it's
mean, yeah, it is
and
pretty
it's
brutal.
scary. It's scary. It's brutal, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean we haven't talked about the plot, mostly just that they like try to rob the house and then stuff goes wrong. So
I mean, it's been a while. I think we could talk about the the kind of not the ending, but like
the
the
middle,
development. Yeah,
the okay, so once like the delinquents are trying to get the guy's money, right? They think it's like in the cellar, right? Because it's locked. So like eventually Stephen Lang finds out that there's intruders in the house, and he's like, and it's money. It happens to be money. So money's like, hey, we know what you have down there. Like, just give it to me, and like we can walk away or whatever. But then Stephen Lang kills him. He kills the shit out of him, and then the other two characters eventually end up going down the cellar, and they find that Stephen Lang has a girl caught, like tied up in the cellar. She has like a harness and like duct tape all over her mouth, and it's creepy because
is
at first
very very out of nowhere. I did not expect to see that.
and at first we don't know why the girl is there.
Yeah,
Like we don't know the reason, and but we find out that or we suspect that it's out of revenge because this girl that he has kidnapped is the one that ran over his daughter. So
yeah. The
so
girl has like shows them a newspaper with the picture of her.
yeah, and then Rocky's like, okay, I'm gonna let you go, and we're gonna get out of here. Like, and they try to go out through like the cellar door that leads upstairs, but then the blind guy opens it and he shoots. He shoots blindly because he is blind. Um, he shoots Dylan Minnette. It grazes him through the ear, and then Rocky screams because she thinks, oh crap, like we're gonna die, whatever. And then Stephen Lang shoots. Uh, he shoots where Rocky screams, but Rocky was right next to the girl, the captured girl. So he ends up shooting the captured girl, and she dies. And so Stephen Lang's like, "Oh crap, I killed her." He's like screaming, my baby," and you're like, at this point, we were like wondering, like, what the fuck is going on, right?
Yeah, I when he started screaming my baby, I was like, what? I was so confused. I mean, for the people that have not seen the movie, like me, I had not seen the movie. Like I was really confused because I was like, did he have feelings for the girl or something? I don't know.
Yeah, and I knew because I had seen the movie before, but I just didn't want to spoil it. So hearing you guys try to figure out what was going on was really fun for me. um, even though like some of you guys are wrong, because I remember you were like, somebody was like, "Oh, it's his daughter, like that's his actual daughter, whatever."
Oh yeah, yeah. My girlfriend thought that maybe I mean, she is his daughter. The daughter never really died. And I was like, I don't know about that. because then how would he get the money? So I don't know.
Yeah, but it's nice to speculate. And then after the scene, it's where like probably my favorite scene in the movie is. It's where he shuts down the lights in the cellar.
Oh yeah,
And
that,
so
that was a crazy scene.
yeah, I think in the trailer he's like, now you'll see what I see. Or I don't know if he says that in the movie too.
He doesn't say that in this one, but he says it in the trailer for the second one.
Yeah. Well, I think he said it in the trailer for the first one also.
Yeah.
And then he shuts down the lights. And so Rocky and Alex are like navigating through the cellar. They're all blind.
It's complete darkness.
They
I
can't
gotta
see.
say, the way that this was filmed was incredible. Like, this is incredible filmmaking. And I asked Sebastian because he had already seen it. Like, how did they do this? And please explain to the people how they filmed this scene.
Well, they filmed it like regularly. They filmed it with light and everything, but they just edited it so that it would be grayscale. Instead of choosing like to go like a night vision, like green color, they chose to make it gray to be sort of, I guess, more authentic or to look like better. Because I think if it was green, I wouldn't have liked it. But if it's gray, the black and white tones, I think it works really well. And so Rocky and Alex's actors, they actually wore contacts that would dilate their eyes and would impair their vision. So when they're walking like that, like their eyes are like really big, if people's really dilated, they basically can't see. So it's really authentic. And whenever the blind man shoots his gun, light comes back into the scene, like just like quick like flash of lights and color. And I think that's really sick. It's probably my favorite sequence in the whole movie.
Yeah, and the detail that they put into this type of filmmaking, it was insane. Like I had never seen something like that because I really thought that it was a night vision camera, but usually night vision cameras, like you said, are green. So it really took me out because I was like, how would they do that? And like um Sebastian and I mean, we're both like really interested in filmmaking and like how stuff is made. So this really like caught my eye. And it made me think like this is and I mean, I just thought it was incredible. Like, I don't know what
Yeah,
else to say.
yeah, no, it's just really cool. But eventually, um, like they make it out of the cellar, they have to run away through the house again. Scooby Doo hijinks. There's a dog, the goodest boy.
The best boy. Honestly, he is the goodest boy
Yeah.
because he helps his owner with everything.
Mhm. Yep. He's so cute. He's played by three different dogs. Um,
You remember the names?
one of them was Nomad. I
Yeah, I
remember
remember that
that.
one.
I think the other ones were um, it was Athos and Aster.
Yeah, what?
Athos and Aster. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a Rottweiler.
Yeah. So after they run away, they get separated. They each get like attacked by the blind man and the dog. Um, and then later, the blind man thinks he kills the guy from the Wallows. He thinks he kills Dylan Minnette. But it turns out he just accidentally stabbed like Money's body because Money was right next to Alex. So yeah, Rocky gets captured, and then we find out why the blind man was like my baby, and we find out why he cared so much about like the girl he killed. So do you want to explain that part?
Okay, well, first before explaining that part, I just wanted to say the blind man thinks he stabs Alex or Dylan Minnette or the Wallow. Sebastian and I were just like saying jokingly like, oh, he can't die because he's the Wallow, like from the Wallows, and like, oh, he can't die because he's got to make music or whatever. And then like at some points when he's fighting Dylan Minnette, and then I was like impersonating the blind man saying like, I hate your music.
Yeah,
It was, that was funny.
and let me just say he gets fucked up. Like he gets
Yeah.
thrown around a lot.
Yeah, Dylan Minnette's character gets fucked up. And yes, but obviously he thinks he stabs him, and then but Dylan Minnette's character is free for a moment, and then he goes back down to the basement, the blind man, and that's when we see what you said about when we see to find out about the girl character. Did they ever say her name? I don't think they said her name. But
Like the one that was kidnapped before.
yeah, I don't think they said her name. But
Her name is Cindy Roberts.
oh yeah, Cindy. I remember Cindy. Yeah, but yes, it was really unsettling because the blind man basically knocked out and captured Rocky's character and puts her in the harness that was carrying the other girl Cindy, and he like pulls the lever so that it picks up Rocky's body, and she's like, what are you doing, what are you doing? And then she's like, I think she said like, oh, doing like, I don't know what she said, whatever you're doing to me, it's not gonna bring back your daughter or something like that.
Mhm.
And she's like, I understand what you've been to, but you don't have to do this to me or something like that. And then the blind man is like, you'll never understand like the bond between a father and a daughter. And that was a really strong line or whatever. But then he explains the most mind-boggling of the whole movie, mind-boggling like lines in the movie, saying that the girl that was there was carrying
His new baby.
his new
Yeah.
baby. He was trying to make a new baby with
He,
Cindy.
he says something along the lines that, oh, like Cindy took a child from me. It's only fair that she gives me a child back. He says something
Yes.
along those lines. And
And it was really, really insane. And then he explains that, oh, I'm not a rapist.
yeah, he says I didn't force myself on it, but then he takes something out of the freezer. Do you want to explain what that is?
Disgusting. It was green. Why was it green? I don't understand. But it was basically, I mean, I don't know how to put this in a nicer way.
His man juice.
Yes, his man juice.
Yeah.
He had his man juice. But like I said, I don't understand why it looked green. Maybe it was a container, but it looked green.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. I think it was a container. It was like the lighting. I don't
I
know.
don't know. But it was in a freezer, right? Like next to where Rocky was being held.
Mm-hmm.
And then he takes out like one of those things where you suck out
A
the
turkey
liquid.
baster.
Oh yeah, I don't know what those are called.
Yeah, he
Uh,
takes out a turkey baster and he fills it up, and
he
you
fills
get
it up from the container.
but you get shots where there's like the liquid, and it has like hair in it.
Yeah. Oh, that grossed me out
It
so bad.
it grossed pretty much everyone out because we were watching it with our girlfriends, and it grossed everybody out. And I remember clapping because I was like enjoying your guys' reactions. Like I was like, dude, that's so fucking funny. Like
Yeah, no, that shit like almost made me vomit.
like
Almost, especially because we just had Popeye's chicken. That was so
no,
gross.
no, we hadn't had Popeyes yet. We had Popeyes after the movie.
Really?
Yeah, we saw this movie, we finished it, and then we saw the trailer for the second one, and then we went to go eat Popeyes.
Oh, okay, my mistake. Well, then I was gonna puke what I had before.
Yeah, you had a Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, I had a coffee from Dunkin' Donuts, and I was gonna puke that out. That I like people who have not seen this movie and are like grossed out easily. Look away when this comes out in the movie, or I mean, when
And,
you see this movie.
and he says he's not a rapist, but we know he's a rapist because like
I mean,
he's
yeah,
he's
he
he's
didn't
basically
insert.
he didn't insert his member, but he's inserting something with his,
Else.
like juice. He basically tries to artificially inseminate Rocky. But then the Wallace guy, who is not dead, comes and like kicks his ass. He lets Rocky go, and then Rocky gets the turkey baster and just shoves it into the blind guy's mouth, and like
Yeah.
let's go. And he throws up like the man juice, and it's so gross. She's like, here, have a taste of your own medicine, or some stupid thing like that.
Yeah, basically that. But it was honestly when that happened, when she like shoved that turkey thing in his mouth,
Mhm.
for a second I thought she killed him. Because I thought that that thing was just gonna go through his throat and like come out the back of his neck for a second, because I didn't know like how hard she like put it in there. But obviously like seconds later you see that he just like throws it up. And
Yeah.
but yeah, for a second I thought she like really like killed him.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing. I would have gotten another shot of the turkey baster and put it up his ass. Um, just for revenge, you know. Um,
Yeah, and he
but
like he gets handcuffed to the place where
yes,
he's
he gets
shooting him.
handcuffed, and our two heroes. You think they're free. They go up to the door. They're
No,
about to
no,
leave.
no. But before they do that, you gotta explain that uh the blind man basically was gonna let him go. You remember? He was gonna let him go because basically they knew, well, Alex was like, oh yeah, he's a rapist, like we call the cops or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But then they say like, no, we can't get the cops involved. I mean, we're breaking in, but then Rocky's like, no, but like look what he's doing. He kidnapped the girl, whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. You're right. They're basically letting him go because, or like they don't decide to kill him or anything because they
yeah.
think that like
Yeah, they
they're
basically
because
both have leverage on each other.
yeah, they stole a bunch of money from him, and if they get the police involved, well, they won't get the money. It's like almost $1 million. That's what Dylan Minnette says. It's almost like $1 million.
Yeah,
So
it was considered larceny, I think he said.
yeah, so they just kind of leave it be. Like Stephen Lang is even like, okay, you got what you came for. Just leave me alone.
Yeah,
And
because at this point, like he can say, "Oh, they stole my money. They broke into my house," but then they can also tell the cops, "We're like, oh, he kidnapped a girl, killed her, and it was like
and
basically raping her."
raped her. Yeah, basically.
So they both have leverage on each other. So at that point, the audience, me, when I was watching the movie, obviously Sebastian, like I said, has already seen the movie,
Yeah.
but like me, I thought, oh, like the movie's over, like they're gonna go free. They're both are gonna just like stay quiet on each other because, like
Hmm.
we said, there's no protagonist in this film. They're both antagonists, so you're not really rooting for everyone anymore. So I was just like, okay, they're just gonna keep it equal, but no.
Yeah. So they get to the door, the front door. Dylan Minnette is opening it. He's making too much noise, and the blind guy just shoots him through the back. Kind of surprising, kind of
he
not
escaped.
surprising.
He
Um,
escaped from where he was handcuffed.
yeah, and so Dylan Minnette just dies.
Yeah. For a second, I thought that like because when he opened the door a little bit, I thought that it was a cop shooting
Oh yeah,
him.
yeah. From the way it looks like he got shot from somebody like on the outside.
Yeah, on the outside of the house.
But then they turn around and they show you that it's the blind guy that shot him.
Yeah. And that took me out completely because I was like, holy crap. Because like we were joking around, like, oh, they can't kill him because he's the wallow or whatever. But then the wallow dies.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh no, the wallows, they're not
One
gonna make music anymore.
one less wallow. So yeah, once that happens, Rocky's like, "Oh crap!" And so she runs outside. She's outside in the street, and she turns around and calls back to the blind man, like, You're useless here, dude. You're like you can't catch me." Like, but then like I don't know why. Just keep running, you know. Like who
Yeah,
cares?
she was already like escaped. Uh,
Hmm.
and for literally, I mean, it was a really dumb idea of her, but I guess she wanted to see what he would do because, like, in her mind, she's like she said, you can't do anything out here because it's
Yeah.
not her own home. And you know, a blind person, like, they're familiar in their own home, but
Mhm.
like outside, they're not. So that's when she felt confident. But
And
obviously, overconfidence is a
because
bitch.
then he releases his dog, the goodest boy, and just the dog chases her into like their car that they used to break in. She like has to deal with it. Eventually, it ends up with the dog being trapped in the car, and when she thinks she's safe again, um, the blind man gets her again, right? and drags her back into the house. And that's when you're like, oh man, like just end already, like just give me a conclusion. But yeah, they have one more fight. She disorients the guy with the alarm system. She turns it up like really loud, and I guess like he hears it too well. Like he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's kind of like Venom, like you pointed out.
Oh yeah, I was like, it's Venom, or it's like it's like
Like
it's like
their weakness is the sound, or like
yeah,
how.
or it's like Daredevil also. If Daredevil hears something too loud, he's gonna be like, oh crap, like it's gonna disorient him.
Exactly.
So yeah, and then basically they end up kicking each other's ass again, and the blind guy ends up falling back into the cellar, and the gun goes off and shoots him on the side. And that's how Rocky is able to leave before the police get there, because with the alarm, the police are now able to show up. So once the movie like wraps up, we see that Rocky and Diddy, her little sister, I forgot to say her little sister's name is Diddy Kong. Um, they see a news report. The man is alive. He's not dead, but he only mentions two robbers or intruders. He doesn't mention Rocky because like JP was saying, there's like leverage. They have leverage on the both of them.
Yeah, they say. Well, we were pointing out that well, in the news, they said it was only two people.
Yeah,
Eh,
Alex and Money, Dylan
Yeah, they
Minnette, and
all the
the other
the
guy.
people that the blind man killed inside the house,
Mhm.
and obviously we were talking about it, and we were obviously like, oh, he didn't mention Rocky.
Yeah, he doesn't mention Rocky. He doesn't mention Cindy, who he has, under the basement, under the
Oh yeah,
cellar.
we didn't mention that. Like after he killed her, he like put her in some. We
I
didn't we,
think
we
I
didn't
think
figure
it's
out what it
I think
was.
it's oil because it was really dark.
Yeah, it
He,
was like a really dark liquid.
I,
Could have
I,
been gasoline, could have
I,
been oil.
or sewage.
Uh,
I don't know, but he puts it under the house so that no one can ever find it.
yeah, he
And
puts her in a container and puts the liquid, and then like puts the tile of the floor over the container. So basically, she's gone. Like,
yeah,
so obviously the cops didn't find the body.
yeah, and also one thing he didn't mention was the stolen cash. So he doesn't mention
Yeah,
that he lost the like however much money Rocky took. And
yeah,
so yeah, you kind of feel like they have leverage on each other, but you also kind of feel like maybe somehow like the blind man will be able to track down Rocky somehow. Because you never know.
I mean,
Um
I really don't know how he
yeah,
could.
I doubt it. He's blind, but he had
Yeah,
like maybe he has some friends in the army that can be like, yeah, there's this girl that looked like this. I don't know. Because I mean,
maybe.
I know they're making us like I know the sequel is coming out or it came out, but I know that Rocky's not in it.
Yeah, so I don't think they're gonna with that storyline.
Yeah, but I'm
Yes.
just thinking of like horror movie like cliffhangers where like maybe there's a possibility that since he's still alive, you feel like oh he can get revenge or whatever. But nah, the movie just ends like that, like all ambiguous.
I mean,
Nothing.
would you say that it was a happy ending?
I mean, I guess for Rocky, because she was able to leave with Diddy. Um, but I don't know. I think I mean, I'm bummed. Well, I'm not bummed, but I mean, I find it sad a little bit that Dylan Minnette died because you feel like he's kind of like the only good one or like the only one that like had
Voice of
any,
reason.
yeah, voice of reason, like I said earlier. But other than that, like, yeah, whatever. Like, just I'm happy for Diddy because she wanted to be a surfer and they're going to California. So, yeah,
Yeah, Diddy, Rocky's sister.
yeah, Diddy
Yeah, I
Kong.
mean, I guess you could say it was a happy ending for her. And but right after we watched the movie, we had to see the trailer for the second one. I mean, do you remember the trailer?
I just know that he has a daughter. The blind man has a daughter, and some more people break into his house. And I believe they're trying to take the daughter away. So I don't know. I don't know.
I um I
I don't.
gotta
I,
confess, I already saw the rating for the movie,
uh-huh.
and the critic rating is not that great compared to the first one. The first one, like we said earlier, is 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. I honestly don't remember the rating, but I think it was like 50%, but the audience rating was 87. So it's like uh it could be either or, like good or bad. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
who knows? I had mixed opinions on the trailer because it seems like they're trying to make the blind man sort of be like the hero of the story. Like it's more focused on him, and I'm like, and knowing what I know from this movie, like he has a daughter again, right?
Yes,
So
but who did he get the daughter from?
yeah, exactly. Did he steal his child? Did he rape somebody again? What did he do?
Wait. Did No, it wouldn't make sense. Never mind. I was gonna say, uh, is it really a daughter or a granddaughter? But never mind, because how could he get a granddaughter if his daughter was dead? So never
Yeah.
mind.
So it's, I mean, I guess you have to watch the movie to find out what happens because um the guys that break into their house in the trailer, they're like, do you even know who he is? Whatever. So I'm assuming the little girl is gonna have to like choose between Stephen Lang or the truth and like these people that are breaking in. Yeah, I'll watch it, but I don't think I'll watch it in theaters. I think I'll watch it when it comes out on
Yeah,
streaming.
I mean, especially not at the moment. I mean, not because it's a bad movie or not because I'm not interested in watching it, but like I honestly don't even want to go out right now because of COVID. Is that
Yeah,
COVID's getting pretty bad again? So I don't know.
yeah. And I don't want to, you know, I don't want to get sick while watching this movie. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
what I can get sick watching like a possibly better movie. You know?
yeah, something that's worth it.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Um,
but I mean, like it makes me wonder, like how the girl came about. But um, I
I
like
don't.
right now that I'm thinking about it, because those people that are breaking into his house, I don't think they're after money. And I have a little theory, that I feel like he got a daughter from like someone, like another a girl, of course, that he kidnapped and then everything. And but maybe I feel like he killed the girl that gave her the daughter.
Mhm.
And I feel like those kidnappers,
Want
uh
revenge for the girl.
yeah, want revenge. Like maybe the leader of the kidnappers like is, oh, like that was my girlfriend or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Something along those lines.
I think something like that.
Like I feel like that's it, because the way, like the line that you mentioned, like, oh, do you even know who he is? Like I feel like that's why. And like maybe like in that time that he had the girl kidnapped, like obviously the guy, the leader of the kidnapping, like he didn't know until like
Mhm.
they finally maybe like found the body or something, or I don't know.
Or or it could be maybe that um these, because it's like the kidnap, like they break in, right? So these intruders, I feel like maybe one of them could be like related to the little girl. You know what I mean? Like
That too.
maybe one of them is like her father or like her uncle or something that knows like what happened.
I mean, it could be that too, or it could be that maybe he kidnapped her as a baby or something,
Yeah,
so she doesn't know
probably
that
something like
he's
that. Yeah.
yeah, so maybe she doesn't know that he's not really his father,
Hmm.
but she like obviously like she thinks it's his father.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe the kidnappers track the girl down or something. I don't know. I mean, the girl looks about like 8 years old maybe, so it's been a while, so I don't really know.
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. For those of you that have seen Don't Breathe 2, um, let us know if we're right. Just say, yeah, you're right. Don't tell us how we're right.
I mean, let us know what you thought of this movie, and let us know what you thought of the other movie. If but don't spoil the second movie.
Yeah. So just to finish this off, I want to talk about some other fun facts. So like I said, working title for this was Man in the Dark. Man in the Dark. Uh,
It just gives me
another,
Batman vibes.
yeah, another working title was The Blind Man. Like I said, I don't think that would have gone over well because I mean, like I don't know, it doesn't sound like a thriller, you know?
Nah, it really doesn't.
Yeah,
Not
like
that.
um, So yeah, like I said, in contrast to his previous work on Evil Dead, the director Fede Alvarez decided to make this movie have less blood, have an original storyline because the other ones are reboot, have more suspense, and to have no dependence on supernatural elements, which he said that he felt was currently overused. So when you think about other movies that came out around this time, I guess there was a lot of like ghosts and supernatural stuff. So, seeing a thriller like this with a human antagonist is pretty cool. Also, the director, he plays the viola in the soundtrack for the film. So that's pretty cool.
What?
He plays the viola, which is like a violin in the soundtrack of the film.
Viola Davis?
No,
Sorry, I'd never heard of a viola. Sorry.
it's like a violin. I think it's bigger than a violin or it's smaller. I don't know. And lastly, ironically, the street where the blind man lives is called Buena Vista,
Huh.
which it means like good view in Spanish, but the guy has bad eyesight, so get it? It's a joke.
For the people that are not bilingual like us, we're explaining it to you.
Yeah, and original ending of the movie had Rocky not make it out. Like she was supposed to stay in the basement, in the cellar.
Wow. I mean, oh well, that reminds me that like when the movie barely started, I think it was one of the first scenes. We see the man dragging Rocky's body.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so I remember my girlfriend and I like, oh wow, they just revealed like she's
That
dead,
she's dead. Yeah.
that she's gonna die. So obviously when it was all leading up to that scene where it was after she escaped from the car, she locked the car, I mean she locked the dog inside the car,
Hmm.
and he finally drags her through the street like, we finally know what's gonna happen, like, oh,
Yeah.
she's gonna die or whatever. But obviously uh they didn't, they surprised us. I mean, they
Hmm.
surprised me. I mean, because I had never seen it already.
Yeah.
And I mean, I really like that because they make you think that this is gonna happen, but it really isn't.
Yeah.
And so I
Um.
really appreciate that it was an original story.
So I think originally that shot wasn't going to be in like the opening shot. Like it was just going to cut to them robbing the first house. But I think the director, one of the producers, was like, "Now let's add this scene in to have like a cold open, like more intriguing." And I think it works. I think it's okay. Um, it gets repeated later in the movie, but like it's whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Um,
it's like all been leading to that scene, or
yeah,
not really,
yeah,
but you get what I mean.
yeah. So a little fun fact from the blind man's um, man juice. So the director said that it's the same contents that the X-rated film industry uses. So
Excuse me.
it's the same way that corn movies make their man juice.
Oh my god.
Yeah, which if you didn't know, it's fake, guys. It's not real.
Like lotion, isn't it?
I don't
Lotion.
know. I don't know what it is.
But that's
I,
disgusting. I mean, that scene
I,
still,
I
I have it, a vivid memory of it,
okay, and
and
you're
it's disgusting.
so you're ready for more disgusting stuff because
Yes, please tell me.
the hair in the like container was the director's idea. He cut it from the assistant director's head. So he just cut a little hair and like sprinkled it in the thing to add to the realism.
Oh god. I mean, at
I
least it wasn't like pubic hair, dude.
Yeah, but I think it works. I think for the realism, yeah, like we all screamed when we saw that. Like we were really grossed out by it. It was a real shock moment. So I think it worked. I think that was a good idea on him. As gross as it is, I think it was like well done, you know?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I gotta say, I am not really a big fan of I look so short. I'm not really a big fan
Of guys. Yeah.
about guys. No, I'm not really a big fan of like horror films or like thriller film. I mean, I get like I understand like there's great horror films and like yeah, I'll watch them, but I'm not a big fan of them. Like for example, my girlfriend, she loves to watch scary movies and stuff like that. And I honestly don't. I don't feel the same way, but I'll watch them because I'll appreciate good filmmaking
Yeah.
and a good story. But stuff like this that's so unsettling, like oh god. And I gotta say, like for example, Midsummer, for people who haven't seen it, it's a really, really, really unsettling movie. But I honestly don't feel it was that necessary for it to be so unsettling. I didn't like it because it made me feel so uncomfortable. And the
You
story
know,
was just like for me, my opinion.
honestly, I would say that's valid when you're talking about a horror movie. Um,
Yeah.
I respect that you're like, I don't like it because it made me feel uncomfortable, and
Yeah.
you know,
It made me feel super uncomfortable. But sometimes it's so unnecessary. And like for example, in this movie, I understand. I understand why they did it. And yes, it's uncomfortable, but and it is unsettling, but it has a meaning to the story. And like it explains the whole thing with the baby things. But yes, like I in some parts, like sometimes it's necessary, sometimes it's not. It's just but it's still uncomfortable as hell.
I get you.
Okay.
So I mean, I think that's it. I think we talked about pretty much everything.
Yeah.
We
Now we gotta rate it, dude.
I give it like a. Well, you know what? No, I had already seen it, but I still enjoyed it when I rewatched it. So I guess I give it like a 7 or an 8. I think it's good. I think it's a good like solid thriller suspense movie.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, even though like I just said a couple seconds ago, it was an uncomfortable film by at the end of it. I really, really enjoyed this original story
Mhm.
because I mean, I don't know if this has ever been done before, but I had never seen it. A story like this. And especially the whole thing that I mentioned earlier with like you're not rooting for anyone by the end of the movie. Um like everyone it's like I remember I said it's a lose situation. And I really like that. So because of that, I gotta say I'll rate it I'll rate it an 8.5 good boys out of 10.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
It-
I like
yeah, it was a really good story. I mean, I don't know who wrote it, but it was a really great job by Fede Alvarez. And I don't know how much Sam Raimi put into this film, but
Oh,
great job. I gotta applaud them.
I don't think he put that much into it. I think it
Yeah,
was mainly like Fede Alvarez and the writer, which I forget his name. He directed the second movie. Rodo Sayagüez. That's his name. So yeah, he wrote this one. He wrote the second one, and he's directing the second one also. So good job to those guys.
yeah, I gotta applaud their job in this pretty great movie. Like, and if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it, even though we have spoiled it the whole thing.
Yeah, but honestly, it's pretty cool. Like I had since I had seen it like a first time, I had already known what was going to happen. But this rewatching it with friends who hadn't seen it, it made it really fun. Like I was able to let loose and kind of like get into the mindset to watch the movie again, and it was still pretty tense, pretty suspenseful, and it was just a good time. Like I had a good time watching it.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah, that's it,
Now
guys.
we're gonna be ending the episode now. But yes, of course, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We got everything,
Yeah,
even MySpace. No, I'm kidding.
follow us on LinkedIn. Um,
On
uh,
YouTube, please subscribe and
we have.
everything.
Oh yeah, I forgot we have a YouTube. Yeah, follow us on YouTube.
YouTube, yes, and if you if you followed the link for the Buzzsprout to listen to our episode, you can listen on Spotify, you can listen on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, and a bunch of different websites. We're on there, and you can listen to us. Please let us know how we did, and please recommend us more movies to watch.
Yeah, or if you want to see us talk about other stuff, like maybe we can do an episode on like stuff that scared us when we were little kids, like in movies and TV shows. I think that'd be a good idea. Um,
Definitely.
Instead of just talking about one movie, maybe we can, cram a bunch of them in one episode also. Like whatever you guys want us to talk about, I'm down.
Yeah, please let us know if you want us to talk about more nerdy films like Marvel or DC, or if you want us to be scared like this, horror movies, or you just
Yeah.
want us to have a good time with a comedy movie. Please let us know.
Yeah, I'm down to watch horror movies. I love horror movies.
Yeah, if you want me to feel more uncomfortable, please let me know what movies to watch.
Yeah, and recommend good ones. Don't recommend bad ones because then I'll have a bad time.
Yes. But yes, that is it for the episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This has been Stay Till the Credits podcast.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Thank you.
See you later.